Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Technology Show, where our experts translate geek into regular speak. How do you feel about mixed reality versus virtual reality? And what are your thoughts? Gadgets or games? And where exactly are you on the battlefield of Windows versus Apple? Stay tuned for our special geek guests. And now, it's over to our Techsperts.
It is the Technology Show where we translate geek
into regular speak.
I'm loving the way you're helping me with that every week.
It's just in case you forget.
You know how many times you know how many times I've got it wrong over the past. So yeah, well, here we go. No guest today, so we're going to go back to normality. Well, you and me and a microphone.
We don't always need the special guest appearances.
We don't. We can be our own special.
We can
guests.
manage the technology.
We can bring out some of our own other personalities to talk with us.
How many voices are you hearing in your head?
Exactly. So I'm going to go into the app of the week.
I always love this.
You're going to really love this. So first of all, I have to ask you, do you like donuts?
I love donuts.
Do you love donuts?
I hate bad donuts.
Do you like Krispy Kremes?
No.
No, you don't. Okay, then you
can smell the fat.
What fat?
Yeah, no, you can smell that there's an extraordinary amount of cholesterol and heart clogging things in those. And there are way better donuts.
Okay. Well, my app of the week is Krispy Kreme Australia.
No, but it's an app. We're talking about an app.
It's actually not even an app. It's Here I Go Again. It is an app, but it's not an app.
Okay. It's one of those pretend apps.
It's brilliant.
So it's a website?
This. No, it's not.
It's an application of some kind.
No, it's not.
Well, how do you get it?
Instagram.
Oh.
These clever boys and girls at Krispy Kreme, and let's give their agency, whoever they might be, kudos, have made 4 retro games and put them into the stories section of Instagram. So you can be a little donut racing car, and you can be a little like hoppity hop thing, like it's all donuts and donut themed and sprinkles and that. But they've taken 4 classic games, like even fighting, like KO.
Yeah.
So you fight against a bad muffin or something, and left, right, and up and down and jump and that. There's 4 different games. So they didn't do just one. They did 4.
And you can play these games
through Instagram
on your phone. Right.
So that's what I'm saying. It's an app because it's using an Instagram, Facebook technology. But it's not, you don't download it. You just do it through Instagram. That's what I mean by it's not an app, but it's an app because it's using their technology.
Okay, so how do you get it? How do you do it?
So you go to Krispy Kreme Australia is the handle.
Yep.
And it'll be in their storyline. And I actually, for anyone that says that advertising doesn't work, so I got an ad, like a sponsored or suggested post that appeared on my Instagram feed, and it was there. My son loves Krispy Kremes, I just have to say.
Look, they smell great. You open a box of Krispy Kremes and it smells great. But no, the taste never lives up to the smell.
So I think where I'm going to maybe agree with you, which is also quite rare. It's specifically when it comes to chocolate, because Americans don't know how to make chocolate. And it's that fats that you're talking about that's in their chocolate. Like Hershey's, for example, is terrible. Yes. It's not chocolate as far as I'm concerned.
No.
You shouldn't even use it for baking. Dogs, actually, you can't give chocolate to dogs.
No, you can't.
So Hershey's, nah.
Yeah, it's not real chocolate.
But
it's
they're
confectionery
glazed donuts, like they're normal. It's yummy. I must say, I've got no problem crushing 10 or 20 of those.
Look, if I was starving and there was nothing else in the world to eat, okay. But if I had a choice, then I'd be looking around for the old-fashioned pineapple donuts. Anyone that's got a memory of those at school? Not easy to find anymore. I don't actually know
what a pineapple donut is.
It's a pineapple glaze. It's a plain donut that's got a yellow kind of glaze to it, or a syrup that's soaked into it. So it's not an icing. And we always called them pineapple donuts. They were tangy, but I don't think they taste anything like pineapple, but that's what we called them.
Because you call bananas mangoes as well, right? I mean, anyway, So back at the app of the week. 4 games.
4 games.
Okay, so
there's a racing car donut.
There's a racing car. There's a fighting one, like Karate Kid or whatever it's called. There was a hopping one, like you have to jump, like think Mario Brothers.
Yeah, I was going to say it'd be
type,
a bit like Mario
you've got
Brothers.
to jump on top of the evil things that come at you. I can't remember the fourth one.
Oh, dear.
But there we go. The listeners I haven't spoilt it.
So
they can go and find
Krispy Kreme Australia on the Instagram story.
On the Instagrams, yeah.
And so you just
it will be there.
Click on the link and start playing the game.
Yeah, and it loads up, and that's a nice thing. You don't actually have to download anything. You just play the game there, and then of course you can share it with your friends. And
I was going to say, can you?
I mean, it's brilliant. As I said, ad agencies and creative people don't always get a tap on the shoulder, but whoever came up with this, well done to them.
If it translates into sales.
That's actually, let's stay on that point for a second, because I mean, this is what I do for a living, right? Is advertising and marketing. Advertising and marketing shouldn't automatically translate into sales. And I'm going to defend that statement. I've got certain clients that say, if I give you $100, do I get $100 back in sales? The answer that I'll give them every day of the week is no. Because you've got to decide, are you trying to do a return on investment campaign, which puts $100 back in the till, or are you trying to do a brand campaign? Now, and I'm going to defend that statement.
Yeah,
do you know who the biggest advertiser in the world is, as in spend?
Besides Clive Palmer at the current election?
No.
Okay,
in the world, not just in his little world. I'm talking about the rest of the place, the whole place. Take a guess.
I would have said Coke a few years ago. Still Coke.
So, and why would you have said Coke?
Because they appeared to be doing advertising everywhere.
Correct. So that's called awareness.
And they certainly don't need it for sales.
Correct. So it's all about the brand.
But they do need to continue to keep building their brand, given that they are not a good health product. Well,
and maybe you're right, they might not be the biggest anymore, but for at least 20 or 30 years, they were the biggest spenders year on year, even the days of the cigarette advertisers. And the reason for that is that if you're going to be thirsty at a moment in time, then buy a Coke. And you wouldn't be thinking Coke if you didn't see it everywhere, on bus stops, on shelters, on the signs above the restaurants, etc.
But they don't do the old-fashioned campaigns every summer with the brand new big commercial.
I know, but that's also now budgets, right? And they've had to cut margins. And look, they're repositioning. They're focusing more on their non-sugar products because they know that there's the evil people are going to come looking for them, and that sugar tax is just around the corner. Correct. Well, good on them. But the point that I'm making, though, is
they are a big,
Krispy Kremes might not see the return on investment in this quarter. So I have no idea what they cost. I would say they spent a few $100,000 building those 4 games, because they built well, they're fun, they've had to be put into Instagram, so it's a different type of code. Will they get $10 million worth of sales, or tenfold, or whatever it is that the ROI metric that CMOs look for? Probably not. But here's 2 people that you've just said you don't eat Krispy Kremes.
No.
But we're still talking about it, and you'll probably go to Instagram and have a look at it.
Yeah, and I'll probably play the game.
There we go. So they've achieved what they needed to. And if you're ever thinking of a donut, you might get a Krispy Kreme because
you'll
it's there.
Be more likely to be aware of when you do see the brand. But they have lost a lot of brand scale in Australia. They have fallen back. They were at one time peaking, and they had retail positioning. And with a food brand, you need a retail.
Yeah, obviously they've done that whole deal with 7-Eleven. So you go into any...
They're in a 7-Eleven.
So it's strategic. There's probably more 7-Elevens than there was malls where they could afford to put stores.
And it's less. It's a bit like big makeup brands who have little tiny floor spaces in big department stores.
So
all right. Well, I think it's a fun. Yeah, that's a great.
It is fun.
That's a great app, not app.
App, not app.
App, not
app.
Actually,
start that. App, not app. There we go. It is time for It's All Geek to Me, or to you, or to us, to everyone. Me. Okay. So where are we now? We're on the letter C.
I believe so.
C for Charles. Charles, not Greek though. So what would C be?
We don't have a C.
I was going to say, so it's the same as Afrikaans. There's no C.
There is no C in the Greek alphabet. That's right.
But you've got more letters in the English alphabet.
Because
so what have you got extra?
We have more than one O.
Oh.
And we have more than one I.
As you corrected me the other week, I. See, I'm getting better. So we're going to do C.
For?
Cron.
C-R-O-N?
Correct. Well, obviously, cron, but most people would think K, actually.
That's right.
Okay. So C for cron. Do you know what a cron is? And maybe I'll make it easier for you and say cron job. And that wasn't sexual.
No.
Okay, that is a proper thing. I have cron jobs running on my Mac all day long.
No.
Okay.
I've never heard of a cron.
Now, before I tell you this and what it is, I'm going to get 5 stars today, because when I tell you where this comes from, you're going to love me. Okay.
5 Angela stars.
5 Angela stars. Oh. Watch this. Okay. So a cron is actually a very simple thing. It's a software utility that you build to schedule jobs that need to be repeated. So the crons that I have running on my Mac at the moment are, when my Mac opens, automatically open the following programs and start downloading mail. So the reason that you build a cron job is just to take away that having to every single day remember to do something. So even something like scheduling a backup, you can run a cron job to do that for you. So the cron jobs, it's built in the terminal. It's built using C, also why the reason they used C, and BASIC, as they call it. And it's a very simple script. As I said, I've run my own cron jobs. I've built my own cron jobs. It sounds terrible when you said cron jobs. Cron jobs. But they're really, really important tools in tech. It just simplifies tedious and tasks you don't want to remember but need to remember.
So it's a to-do list that executes itself.
So basically it schedules commands and shell scripts. Now I don't want to start getting more confusing with a shell script.
But in other words, you can schedule a cron job for every time you open your Mac. Can you tell it to make sure it opens other applications like your social media?
So I'm actually going to read this to you, because I found an even more simple version of what I tried to explain.
Okay.
So cron jobs are used to schedule tasks to run on the server. Okay,
right.
so the server or the Mac,
yep.
but generally your Mac's connected to something, or your PC. They're most commonly used for automating system maintenance or administration. So like I use mine for backups,
yep.
and my admin is to clear my cache. So to clear out my, C for cache. However, they are also relevant to web application development. This is where you were going. There are many situations when a web application may need to run certain tasks periodically. So I'll give you a great example there. We have people that can subscribe to Evil Waves Radio. So they can put their name in if they
yes.
come to our website, and they can subscribe, and we'll send them. The cron job could be set to look for new subscriptions and add them to our mailing list. Now, MailChimp, whatever we're using, does that automatically.
Correct.
Okay. If you weren't using MailChimp, for example, so you were just using a web server and you had your own mailing list that was there that was manually being run.
Yep.
Why? I don't know, but I'm just trying to simplify it. The cron job would actually check for the new updates.
But having said that, I do have 1 or 2 other sidelines where we have manual membership.
There we go.
That we are adding manually, because every time we've tried to add some kind of new plug-in to the site, inevitably something always goes wrong and I tend to lose something. So we've opted for something simplified at the moment till we make other decisions. So we are doing that manually.
Okay, well, there we go.
So we could have a cron
would
job.
Actually tell the site to look, is there been a new subscriber? Yes, then do this. No, then do that. So it's very simple jobs. Now, I made a big, bold statement that I'm going to get 5 stars.
Yeah.
And you're not that impressed with cron.
No,
but I'm going to tell
yet.
you where cron comes from.
Right.
Kronos. As in the Greek god with the 3 heads and the father of time. Time, cron jobs to save time. Don't you think that's brilliant?
You're reaching.
It's all Greek to me.
Yeah, you're
you
reaching.
See, I'm proving, though, that the Greeks made and invented
everything. But this was the assumption that we build everything on, so we already knew that. So that's not a new discovery.
You have to reward me 5 stars for acknowledging that the Greeks...
you can't get 5 stars.
Cam, what do you think?
Cron job
5 stars?
On its own, it's a 2.5 star.
Low.
But I'll give you an extra star.
Because I brought Kronos into it.
So
and we've taught the world about Kronos. In fact, I didn't know that Kronos was depicted by that 3-headed, because if you watch Clash of the Titans, that's probably one of the scariest ones, is that it's the man, the lion, and a serpent, I think, are the 3 heads.
I don't watch Clash of the Titans.
No, but Kronos.
Yep.
He's depicted, or it's
Kronos,
depicted. I don't know if it's a he or she.
Is the Greek word for chronos, so that means time.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. Oh, no, it's a bull. A bull, a lion, and a man. And that's a scary combination to have coming at you when you're just a little dude with a sword.
You wouldn't want to piss off someone, would you, like that?
No.
Either way, you
speak to the man.
Yeah.
So, cron jobs.
Okay.
Okay.
So
And what
three
did
and a
I
half
get?
stars.
3.5.
3.5.
Oh.
Because Cronjobs gets 2.5, and you get an extra one for, reaching far for the Greek connection.
Okay, so I get 3.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
3.5 stars.
All Greek to me. Okay, well, we're going to get to things with a Z.
Yeah.
And if people still don't know this by now, we're giving away another Alcatel one.
Alcatel.
I saw there were some winners announced.
Yes, there's some winners announced for it. Did you know that we had a white one?
What do you mean a white one?
A white Alcatel phone.
Oh, I thought you meant a white winner. And I was like, where did this
No, that's your
become
South
a
African.
racist?
That's the
Yeah, I was
South
gonna
African bit of you
say.
coming out.
Well, they're voting today.
Well, I
so
thought
I'm
they were
like,
all black.
No.
The phones.
Oh, okay. That's actually
And
awesome.
then, yeah, we opened one of them to make sure that it was all ready to give away to the winner, and it was white.
That's pretty cool, actually.
So we were quite,
Well,
we'll just-
thanks again, Alcatel. I'm on my 5V Periscope. I'm going to get this right and find a way to make all this work together. But anyway.
Can't you do a cron job and...
No, because it's a separate device. I'm trying to control a separate...
And that's why it only got 2.5 stars.
No, but the concept of a cron job is critical. Like, if you want to clear your rubbish bin to keep up your free memory, there's lots of good reasons for crons.
You can program it to get rid of everything and delete it.
Yeah.
Instead of me sitting there
Correct.
for 6 months going,
Correct.
I've got to get rid of 550,000.
Just say select period and run the cron. Does it? Time. It's a time-saving tool. And it's to stop tedious tasks. Do I now go up to 4 stars?
No.
Try my
Because
luck.
we already finished that segment.
Oh, okay, cool. So on to things. I'm going to start with voting because we're going to be voting soon.
Yes.
And
Well,
South Africa is actually voting today.
Right, well, some people already are. So
please explain that to me. So this is intriguing. I believe that in Australia we can vote for like up to 6 weeks or something like that before the actual vote. Or someone told me that you can go, the polls open for like 6 weeks before the voting day. Now, I thought
clearly,
voting day...
Clearly that person doesn't have full possession of their faculties.
Okay, so that's rubbish.
For the federal election, there are 3 weeks of what they call pre-poll.
3 weeks?
3 weeks. For state, it's 2.
Okay, so
and
what
for
does that
local
mean?
government, it's 2. So that means that you are able before polling day, which is the actual election day. In this case, it's the 18th of May.
Yeah.
And for 3 weeks prior to the 18th of May, so we are now in the second week of pre-poll.
Okay, pre-poll?
Yes, you can find a place, and there are numerous pre-polling places where you can vote early because you might not be around on election day.
Okay, but
you might be away, you might be working.
Most countries in the world, that's just tough titty. You just don't get to do it.
Well, in Australia, we're quite dignified, and
where do those votes go? Because here, coming from South Africa, which is as corrupt as hell. Well, if you had a vote 3 weeks ago, in fact, there was a meme going around last night saying there was a break-in at the ANC's headquarters. That's the leading party, and they stole tomorrow's results. You know, they were joking about...
Right, because they haven't come out yet, but they've predetermined them. So we like to think that. So the polling booths are all run by the Electoral Commission.
Okay.
So everything is under lock and key, and nothing is counted until the polling booths close.
Okay, so they are quite secure.
They're very secure.
Okay,
yes,
that's good.
Very secure.
So this is called SmartVote. Have you heard of SmartVote?
Yes, I have, a little bit.
I think it was brilliant because
it's out
as
there
someone
already.
so I'm not allowed to vote because I'm not a citizen yet.
Correct.
But if I had to vote, I wouldn't know who to vote for. Obviously, I know who to vote for. I'm sitting here
That's
with
right,
you.
you do.
But I mean, if you were new, even as a young person, right, and that's where this is aimed. So SmartVote basically allows you to see which candidates and parties share your opinions. That's what it is in a nutshell. It's a website. No, and that's why I wanted to bring it up. It's not a perfect world. But you basically put in comments and opinions and questions, and it uses an algorithm to try and match you to whom you would be most aligned to.
Speaking as...
hence the word smart.
Yes, the speaking from a political party viewpoint,
yes,
the questions that SmartVote asks political parties shows that they are predetermining those outcomes. So it is a progressive, what we would call a progressive platform. The questions are preloaded. So in other words, if you aren't giving them information that agrees with who they think their audience is, you're going to come out looking bad. So
then my question is it designed to try and influence?
It completely.
And is there funding behind it?
There is nothing fair about SmartVote.
Okay, so it's not a great thing to talk about.
It's not objective. No, I think it's good to talk about it, because if it's out there and people are going to it from the consumer perspective, the voter, not the political parties who are providing the information. Okay. So they've put out a call to all political parties to say to them, log in.
But have you got the same questions? So everyone gets asked the same thing for it to build its algorithm?
Yes.
Okay, but so that's fair though, isn't it?
But they are deciding the questions.
Oh, I see what you're saying. SmartVote decides the questions, so
That's
they can
right.
ask. Okay, so they could go, guns definitely aren't a good thing, right? And of course, if you're pro-guns,
correct,
you can't answer that
you're
question.
You're not going to come out looking good. It's going to be a negative. So they don't ask. It's not an objective platform.
Okay, so strip clubs aren't a great place to go for a business meeting. Wouldn't be a great question either, probably.
Well, they for instance, they have asked touchy things, I think, around
That's
abortion.
What happens at strip clubs.
Around abortion questions, things like that. That maybe your party doesn't have a view on.
Oh, I see. Correct. Now, that's actually a great example.
See?
I have no problem with abortion, but it wouldn't be the reason why I would or wouldn't choose a political party.
But those
opinion.
And those questions are phrased in a different way. So it's not phrased, do you believe a woman has a right to choose?
Yeah.
It's not phrased
correct
like that. And
that's just about, do you agree with abortion? So it doesn't take the mitigating circumstance.
And I'm quite an upfront person, and I think my experience over the years in politics, I have realised where things could lead, and you could end up defending yourself unnecessarily because someone else has interpreted or decided how they're going to interpret which is a shame, because when there is something around like SmartVote and it's billed or promoted as being a fair platform.
Well, that's how I came across it, right? I thought this is actually quite interesting because I haven't got a clue. I've got 2 years to go through. Well, the election's every 5 years, right? 4.
No.
5.
Well,
we never know. You can swap your prime minister at the drop of a hat, so it makes
you
no
have
difference.
local, state, and federal. Federal can be called at any time in a 3-year term. It's not set.
Okay.
But state and local elections are set dates every 4 years.
Okay, so I will be voting in the next state and local. Because I'll be a citizen hopefully in the next 2 years.
The next local is 2020 and the next state is 4 years from today, which is 2023.
So I won't be voting in 2023 I'll be voting. So for me, besides what I read in the paper and see on TV, which, let's be honest, is actually all crap. I just thought this would be quite it depends who pays. I thought this would be quite a nice way of just giving me an overview based on asking questions. But if that example you've used now is perfect as to why it wouldn't work from a overarching.
Correct. So they should be asking the voter how they feel, and then saying, okay, well, it appears that there are 3 parties that match you along these platforms because they've addressed climate change. Let's say you're a voter that says, I care about climate change.
Sure, I'm actually a terrible person. I don't really care about anything. So who do I vote for? Because I really don't have views. I don't. I just want to get on with it.
So you're essentially an okay person. You're not pulled in any which way, right?
And even now, like when I've had to vote in my country, I've just voted for the opposition because I don't like the majority. But I haven't looked at the other 87 parties.
Yes, but that is essentially how most voters vote. So they say that a government doesn't win an election; they lose it. Yeah,
you're right. As I said, I don't vote for who I believe should be in. I just vote for who I believe shouldn't be in.
No one wins it. It's just someone loses it.
Very interesting. We'll have to actually do a show dedicated to how to research online about politics and where to look for the real information and that, not just Clive Palmer's Channel 9 or 10 or 7.
But then suddenly the technology show becomes something else and all of our people that do know.
Still knowledge.
Let's go with no.
Okay, we won't. Can I stay there? Yes, I can. I'm going to stay with government. I love this one. Our friends at the ATO, they want their cut of our crypto.
Oh,
so they've
caught up.
So I have to compliment them and I have to hate them simultaneously. So I'm just going to put it out there now because who knows, they probably listen to the show because they follow everything. And because you're on the show, they probably definitely follow our show.
I don't think I'm high up on their list.
I believe in paying tax.
Yep.
I say that categorically.
Of course.
I have no problem paying tax.
Well, we have to
as long as I see it working.
How else do we run the country?
100%. So I have no problem. I don't think you should have to pay all the taxes that are put forward to you. I think there's grey areas, and we're not going to get into that. But this one that I have to compliment them on this. So what they've done is they've now partnered with a company that will write an algorithm that will ingest third-party data to see whether you do or don't have a crypto wallet. So if you went and downloaded a crypto wallet, so I have.
Yep.
I've actually only got, I think, in dollars, I think I've got $1,000 worth of crypto. I bought it because I'm a geek, and I needed to own some crypto, not because I thought it was going to make me a gazillionaire like these other people. Okay. So I have a wallet, ATO. I've got a wallet, which if you'd like your cut of my $1,000 with pleasure. It's not worth anything. But there are some people out there. In fact, there's 500,000 to 1 million Australians that are holding crypto. Now, that could be one bit of a coin, or it could be hundreds of coins, which are worth anything from...
When are they trying to clip the ticket on the purchase or the sale?
Well, this is the interesting thing. I think they're trying to clip it along the journey because it's deemed as earnings, right? So the ATO, when you file your papers every year, you show earnings. So if you've got money in the bank and you earn interest, you pay tax on the interest.
Correct.
So they can't clip the ticket on purchase because you've purchased it post-tax. Like you've got your money. Now you've bought crypto. It's the same as putting it into a bank.
Like buying shares, yeah.
But as the question is when do they stamp it? Because if they stamped me a year ago at $22 to the coin, $22,000 to a coin, or they stamped me 3 months ago at $5,000 to the coin. So that's going to be a very interesting way of determining it.
So determining,
maybe it has to be over the year. No, maybe it has to just be over the year.
But that's only if they can actually show that it's earned anything.
Now, my question is twofold. If I've lost money, so let's say I was one of those idiots that bought at 18,000 and I went, woohoo, 22 and beyond, and then all of a sudden I was at 6.
Yes.
I think that was like weeks, right?
Yep.
Can I claim that as a loss?
Well, you would have to if they can claim it as a gain.
That's my point, right?
Yes.
So this is very interesting.
So there's two sides.
So I'd actually like my rebate against the $200 I've lost, or $300, because in fact it's more. I bought cheap. And then it went high.
It fluctuates.
So, but the fact that they're using third-party data, this is interesting.
Well,
so that's what Facebook does.
But they use third-party data with banks.
Nope, they're using algorithms to ingest third-party search data and social data. They're not going to a bank. And
because they have no other way of getting that data officially because they don't have that connection. Because with the ATO, they do have that connection, the banks.
Correct. So they've got the bank information, but that's still not conclusive. The bank says there was money that came into Brett's account, there was money that went out, but we can't really tell you where it went. It's transactions.
No, but they do report interest directly to the ATO.
But the money's sitting in my crypto wallet, so they're not seeing it.
No.
So it's very, and they reckon they're going to be doing this like from now. Obviously, they're waiting for the elections, and it'll have to be ratified and brought in, I suppose, by whoever's in charge of the ATO from June or July.
But I don't know that the tax commissioner has to consult.
Oh,
yeah,
well,
I don't know that he has to consult on that one.
My question, I said my question's
so
twofold.
That's going to be my research question.
Well, there we go.
I'm going to find out about the ATO and crypto.
Now, here's my question, my double-barreled question. How long have they been doing this? The fact that they've
already
correct. That the fact that they've now made this announcement,
probably the last couple of years,
3-4 years,
I would say so.
All those people that bought in at $100 or $200 went to 22,000, bought the yacht, bought the Lamborghini, because guys did cash out.
Yeah, good.
There were some clever people out there.
The smart ones, good.
They cashed. And they cashed as you do on any share. As it's climbing, you cash, and as it's dropping, you should be out. Does the ATO now come after them and say, that Lambo that you have there in bright pink with the license plate that says crypto on it, thanks. How did you get that?
So I would say that what they will do is they will announce an audit, like they do every year, of which targeted either businesses or industries that they come after to have a closer look at. And a lot of those people you will find in that transaction, because the ATO does do searches on registration. Ooh, don't forget, car registration. So they're connected. So it's all connected in government. So they would see that you had recently registered.
Well, when I had my run-in with the police officer the other day, he said to me, there's a rego for this, whatever. I said, no, there is. I've got it. Yeah. He goes, well, my computer says there isn't, and I'm going to tell you my computer is more reliable than what you've got to tell me.
There you go.
Point blank.
There you go.
So driving around in real time, he knew everything.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So their systems are amazing, actually.
Oh, yes.
So they're going to catch these, and there are guys.
Because we lost our
cashed up.
We lost our physical registration. Remember?
Yeah, that's right.
So we don't have that. So they have to be up to date because
otherwise they wouldn't know. So the license plate recognition and all these other good things.
Yeah.
But
so you weren't registered?
No, it's a long story.
Right.
When your car's it's my wife's car, it's Gail's car.
Yeah.
When your car's a certain age, you have to get a
inspection,
green slip a pink slip before green slip. I didn't know. It's the first time I've had to register the car. So I just got the pink slip and the green slip because that was a renewal that came through from the insurer.
Right.
I didn't know about the rego. So I got a double whammy. They whammed me on the rego and they whammed me for driving an uninsured car. And I said, but the car is insured. He said, it's not. He said, you have insurance.
Yep.
But because the car's not registered.
It's not, yeah.
So I'm going to court. I'm going to go and argue it. I'm going to say, I'm going to take it. I want that. You can fine me. But I'm not accepting the fact that I didn't have a insured car because I did insure the car. I paid my insurance and I'm new and I'm like, they can see new. They know how long I've been
But you
here.
didn't have the rego, which is the third party.
Well, I had the green.
Yeah, but it's not.
But this, you see the confusion here, and I'm new, so I'm just
They
asking
should be
for
linked.
leniency.
No, they should
be linked. I mean, it seems like they were almost trying to catch me out, and I got the pink one and I got the yellow one.
It's laborious. It's quite laborious because you've got to get it inspected.
Correct.
You know,
I had to take the car, and I did all of that, and that's why I was confused.
Yeah.
But I have to say one thing: the police officer, I'm not even going to say cop. He was a police officer. Was really cool. I had two young boys in the back seat that I was taking to. What was the movie that they were dying to see?
The Avengers?
No, it was just the one before, the big one before that.
The other one.
Oh, man. Marvel? Which one?
Captain Marvel?
No, before Captain Marvel. There was one really big show that came out. But anyway, and they were two little boys in the back seat because there's this cop, in the window. And I was literally across the road from the movie house. He said, okay, go there, take the kids to the movie and get the car home. Don't drive it anywhere else. Yeah, which I thought was decent because he could have made me leave the car there and then on the side of the road. So that was really cool of him. So from that, but I'm still going to go and fight because I like to fight and I've got some time on my hands and I need to learn how the legal system works. So I'm going to lose probably, but
well, you never know. You might get a judge feeling lucky that day.
I might find a South African judge, eh?
No,
because I know you oaks. You can't say no. Girl's cousin or uncle is a judge. Yeah, he's been here for 20 odd years. He's a judge.
Just make a phone call, mate.
No, man, don't. I wouldn't even think it was like, are you still in South Africa? Do you think you can make phone calls here? Staying with cars. Your friend. Who's your friend when it comes to the tech world and cars?
Do I have a friend?
You do. You love him.
I love him.
Yeah, you always talk about him.
Really?
Come on, think. He's normally found with a really nice big blunt on the end of his hand.
I beg your pardon?
A blunt? A big marijuana stick. Who am I talking about?
Oh, Elon.
There we go.
My friend Elon.
Your friend. I have to give Elon Musk kudos.
Again?
Have you heard of RobotTaxi? So first of all, there's a very ostentatious, I think is the right word, channel called Tesla Live. Oh. When he decides he wants to just do some live stuff, he jumps in front of it. We do a podcast, he has Tesla Live.
Yeah.
He just launched RobotTaxi, the Tesla network RobotTaxi. As soon as I start speaking, you're going to see this. Every Model 3 will be part of the RobotTaxi with a flick of a switch. So have you been in a Tesla?
No.
Okay, so the Tesla's driven by an app. That's it. There's no keys and it's all app. The key that you hold is to unlock the car. That's all.
Right.
It doesn't do anything else.
Okay.
The app on your phone and the app on the big screen, that's what drives the car.
And I'm assuming they've got Android.
Oh, they've got everything.
As well as right, okay.
So
RobotTaxi, Tesla.
You will be able to make your car available to the autonomous taxi network. So if you're not using your car can be summoned like an Uber.
Yeah.
It will arrive, it will fetch whoever it's supposed to fetch and take them wherever it's supposed to take them and then return when you need it. So it will know when you need it because it's in your diary. You don't have to put in, you don't have to turn the switch on, but the app update. And so this is where the brilliance of this man is. A simple app update turns your private vehicle into a money generator. So he starts quoting off stats. Now, the one thing I have to say about this guy, I think he swallowed a computer when he was young, because the way he computes his numbers in his head, and I'm sure he preps before he gets up on stage, and as everyone does, but he does these calculations, and you can actually see the numbers are churning. And he explains, he said, if you own a Model 3 and it costs you, let's say, $30,000, right? They are going to make the lifespan of a Model 3 1 million miles. That's what they've decided. So
Right.
a Model 3 will last 1 million miles, and then it will be retired. That's it. So if you own a Model 3, and there'll be X's as well, but they're focusing on the 3 because of the affordability and the size and convenience, you'll be able to include your Model 3 into the network. Now, he says that most people only use their car about 14% of time.
Of the day, right?
Kronos.
Yep.
Okay.
Up the Kronos, yep.
There we
okay.
go. So 14%. He says that conservatively, if the car's only used for 50% of its capacity, you will make $1 million off your $30,000 car in its million miles, because he's done the calculation of what it costs to run.
Yep.
And as the user, as the customer being transported, instead of paying the $2 a kilometer that you pay on Uber, you'll be talking 15 to 20 cents because there's no driver, it's cheaper to run, blah, blah, blah. And then someone asked a question, or it was posed, I don't know how the interface was. It's like, what happens if you're in areas where there aren't any Model 3s? He said, that's fine, we'll deploy them. We'll send Model 3s out. He said, the only caveat he's putting it in, this is the brilliance. He said, if you buy a Model 3, that's fine. If you lease a Model 3, come the end of the 3 years, you cannot buy that car. So a lot of cars, when you buy cars, you have the option at the end of the lease. You cannot buy it. It will be ingested into RobotTaxi network. So they can start forward planning, so from their production line, as to how many they do or don't need to make. And he reckons there'll be he'll turn them on by the latest end of 2020. So it's a year away. He said most of America will be ready for autonomous cars, and there will be 1 million of these things on the road with a flick of a switch. You'll just turn on the app and his cars are ready to rock and roll.
So everyone at Uber has Elon Musk's face on the back of the door and is throwing darts at it.
But it's brilliant.
Yeah, I got to say that is brilliant.
Now, it also lets you finance a car. This is where the brilliance really carries on. Think about it now.
It's a business.
But your car actually will pay for itself.
Yeah, it's not. According to him, it's going to make you money.
Besides that,
So
even
it's
if it
a business.
doesn't, even if it only doubles its capacity of its current use, so your use and its use doubled, it won't cost you anything.
It'll be cost neutral, you're saying, but also it is a business model, much like a taxi plate.
I would invest in that. I mean, and I was thinking about, I was like, why would he need to do that? The guy's got money. I mean, I know he hemorrhages money, but he could just put 1 million Model 3s onto the road right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's a simple answer. Who's going to charge them? So he actually still needs us humans to buy these things.
He needs the infrastructure too.
So correct, but that's brilliant as well.
But that's going to take big government agreements there.
Why?
Because there'd be so much legislation about where it's going to go, and it's just
once they've agreed to autonomous cars, though,
yeah,
the car's autonomous.
But this is still pie in the sky stuff. How far away are the autonomous cars?
Well, there's certain states in America that are almost there.
Yeah, almost is not there.
He's saying end of next year. That's a year and a half away.
Okay.
I mean, we've got trains that are about to go autonomous here, or have gone from the west into the city.
Yeah.
The funny thing is they've had to double the police because there's no humans to... I mean, that's right. Just, why don't they stick a camera on with drones hovering or something? I don't know, anyway. But yeah, good, well done to him. I mean, last week we talked about Toyota and Uber partnering because of electric vehicles.
Yep.
This guy's gone, well, that's so last season.
Yeah,
And he reckons that the price of that was the last thing, sorry, that came down. He said the price of the Model 3 will come down to as low as 20 grand if he gets his way of removing the pedals and the steering wheel, because you won't need it. So you'll be able to put another seat in and you won't need a steering wheel or pedal. You'll never be able to drive the car.
That's really scary.
You'll never drive the car. So as an owner, we
really are moving into fantasy world now, aren't
we?
we?
Can you imagine though? When you bought your car, right?
Yeah.
So you went into the dealership, you test drove it, you smelt the leather. Don't you love the new leather smell? I love the new leather. My son hates it. Anyway, so then they start, right? So your car costs you 50 grand.
Yep.
But you walk out 150 grand because you bought the radio and the car kit and the charger and blah, blah, blah. Now you go into a Tesla, the car starts at 39,000 and ends at 20 because they took out the steering wheel, they took out the brakes, they took out the pedal.
But that's the pleasure of driving.
Our kids won't know what driving
I
is,
know,
though.
but
I love a stick shift.
Yeah,
There's
that's what I
nothing
mean.
better than driving
Than
a
hearing
car.
the gear.
Yeah.
And
Well, there
knowing
hear
why you
nothing.
need to. No.
That's all you do.
No vroom vroom.
No vroom vroom.
Oh.
I have to put that as my hashtag again this week. No vroom
No vroom
vroom.
vroom.
But it is brilliant. If it's going to go that way, then why the hell not own it? And he's already got the jump on everyone.
So we'll be paying someone for an experience of driving a car
No.
because there won't be any driving cars.
But he's a new business.
Yeah.
But what he's doing that's really clever is he's saying you need to get from A to B. If I can make it as cheap as possible for you and as efficient for you. So if you have the Uber, sorry, Elon, if you have the Tesla RobotTaxi app as a user, you're not an owner, you can sync it to your diary. And it knows that you need to go from Bellevue Hill to here. And it's just there.
Well, I would use my car less than 14% of the time. I'm lucky to drive it once a week now, and sometimes not for 3 weeks.
So you see. So for you, your asset is actually a
nothing.
liability.
Oh yeah, I knew that. I knew that.
I
did
know,
know
but
that.
you just wanted to buy it,
have,
right?
Yeah.
I have one last thingy in things, and that's because it's just awesome. The world's first organ transport by drone.
What?
They transported an organ by drone.
By drone.
By drone. So
Who was the unlucky suck to get that?
No, she was lucky. She was a 44-year-old woman in Baltimore, in the US, received a kidney transplant. Her name is Trina Glipsy. Okay, she's been on dialysis. Blah 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 blah. It was the University of Maryland. Well, obviously, if it's Baltimore, and the schools of medicine. They did the project together. It only flew 5 kilometers, so it wasn't far. And they did a lot of tests, and they did. They'd already sent like the bloods and the fluids and whatever they need to have ready for the operation. That was all there. So literally, it was just the drone delivering the organ, the kidney. And they said the drone's equipped with safety features like another backup propeller set, another backup motor, and dual batteries. So if the motors fail, the other ones will kick in. So, I mean, they're really safe devices. But what this does is the speed of time that it gives you, and flying like the crow flies. You know, they have these delivery drivers that will be literally
organ
waiting.
Delivery, yeah.
They're waiting at the hospital for someone to kick it, and then they deliver but they still got to go through our roads. This thing just flies.
And they don't have the advantage of being an ambulance with sirens. They have to literally drive normal.
So they got an ice pack. I mean, it's really analog. It's an ice pack, like a esky with a kidney.
That's right. It is.
Imagine being a cop on your first week on the job, and you pull some guy over because he kind of drove a little bit fast, right? He's an organ.
And you're like, mate, I've got a heart in the box.
What's in the box? Let me show you. Stand up. Put your hands against the wall.
And it's still beating.
And it's still beating. Well, when the plastic ones that they're now printing, they keep them connected, so they actually are moving.
The 3D.
Yeah. The 3D hearts are printed.
Make your own organ.
Well, that's hypercritical, so they can take stem cells, so it matches perfectly. So kidneys, all these organs, the problems with organ donating is it doesn't always match. Or it matches 80%, and then your body will hopefully not reject it.
Sort out the rest.
Correct. Well, that is how it works. With 3D printing, they use your stem cells, and they print you your heart, which is pretty cool.
Yes, because there's no other heart like mine.
Damn right.
It should be unique.
That's a great way of ending off the show, unless you have something.
No, I'm fascinated by the drone doing organ delivery.
I think it's brilliant. There's such good uses for these things.
And if Elon Musk get his way, it'll be, an autonomous drone organ delivery that we can make money out of.
Well, you'd be able to use a Tesla. Can you imagine seeing a car that goes, "Hey, Brett, it looks like you're having a heart attack. Would you like me to order you a heart? I will plug in where to send it to and which hospital I'm taking you to."
I'll take you straight to St. Vincent's. We've ordered one on the way.
You just mentioned speeding.
Mm-hmm.
That is one thing where an autonomous vehicle infrastructure wins every day of the week if there's no humans driving, because they could drive at whatever speed they need to without risk, because all the other vehicles are connected to the same grid. But you realise
that every teenage boy will no longer have a rite of passage as being a hoon.
True.
You've deleted a whole
I never
childhood
hooned, though.
experience.
I never hooned. I didn't have the money to replace the tires.
Different world.
No, I love hooning. In
Different
fact, Ken Block, who is the hoonigan, I watch all his gymkhanas. But yeah, I just didn't have the money to burn the tires. That's always the thing. The guys that don't have the cash, they burn all those tires when they hoon.
They don't have anything else to do because they're not employed with a job, which they need one.
There we go.
Okay, so we've had a fantastic app of the week. We've looked at cron jobs. Got that one.
With Kronos.
Yes, not too impressed about the SmartVote.
Yeah, but it's a good insight. That's why I thought you'd be the right audience to bounce that off.
I've got homework. I'm going to do ATO crypto research and come back to you.
I'll send you the link where I found that.
And the RobotTaxi world is
I don't know
about
if you
to
have any more
descend.
white Alcatel ones to give away. But
Don't know, but we've got an Alcatel giveaway though.
We have.
Right.
And that's
There'll
it.
be a question for the show. Well, that's it from me.
All done.
And you.
Okay. Well,
Bye.
until next time, keep your screens clean.
And your knobs shiny. Thanks for listening to our latest episode of The Technology Show. Remember, for more episodes, hop onto eaglewavesradio.com.au, follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Catch you next time.